Today, we will talk about managing business ethics. In this chapter, we will discuss the following topics: ethical dilemmas, prescriptive approaches, focus on consequences, consequentialist theories, focus on duties, obligations, principles, deontological theories, focus on integrity, virtue ethics, 8 steps to making sound ethical decisions, practical preventive medicine. In ethical decision-making, some choices are straightforward when the options are clearly right or wrong, such as in the case of embezzlement, which is unequivocally wrong. However, ethical dilemmas arise when conflicting values, rights, or responsibilities must be weighed against each other, leading to difficult decisions. An example of an ethical dilemma is presented where a plant manager, Pat, must decide whether to reveal information about impending layoffs to her workers. This situation involves conflicting values of truthfulness and loyalty, as telling the truth to her friend could be seen as disloyal to the company. Various philosophical approaches to ethical decision-making are introduced to help navigate such complex dilemmas. These tools encourage individuals to consider multiple perspectives, think critically, and avoid hasty solutions. By thoroughly analyzing ethical dilemmas and being able to explain their decision-making process, individuals can approach such situations with a greater sense of understanding and confidence. Balancing personal and organizational values. When personal and organizational values conflict, determining the most ethically sound course of action requires careful consideration and reflection to avoid compromising core beliefs and responsibilities. The first step is to clearly identify and articulate the personal values that are being challenged. Understanding one's own ethical principles is essential in providing clarity and a direction for making decisions. Next, it is vital to assess the organizational values and culture. This includes understanding how the organization defines its ethical standards, the extent to which these values align with personal beliefs, and the reasons behind specific practices or policies. Engaging in dialogue with colleagues or supervisors about these values can provide insight and alternative perspectives, creating an opportunity for shared understanding. When conflicts arise, one can employ ethical frameworks such as consequentialism, deontology, or virtue ethics to analyze the situation from multiple angles. This not only allows for the consideration of potential consequences, but also emphasizes adherence to ethical standards and the cultivation of personal integrity. If a direct compromise of personal values seems inevitable, exploring options for constructive change can be vital. This might involve initiating conversations with leadership about ethical concerns, suggesting policy changes, or advocating for practices that better reflect the values of both individuals and the organization. Ultimately, it is essential to seek a balance between maintaining personal integrity and fulfilling organizational responsibilities. This may involve making difficult choices, but staying committed to one's ethical principles while being open to dialogue and change can lead to more ethically sound decisions and potentially transformative outcomes for the organization. Ethical decision-making has been a subject of debate among philosophers for centuries. While not delving into a full philosophy course, practical principles for making ethical decisions are highlighted. Contemporary approaches such as consequentialist theories, like utilitarianism, focus on the outcomes or consequences of actions. Utilitarianism, for instance, suggests that ethical decisions should maximize benefits for society and minimize harm. In evaluating ethical dilemmas, stakeholders and their potential harms and benefits are carefully considered. A utilitarian approach involves calculating the net balance of good consequences over bad for society overall to determine the best ethical decision. This approach, while practical, can be challenging due to the complexity of assessing all consequences accurately. Obtaining complete information and considering the rights of all parties involved can be difficult. Despite these challenges, the consequentialist approach is valuable as it encourages individuals to think broadly about the consequences of their actions and make decisions that maximize benefits and minimize harm to society as a whole. Kant's categorical imperative is a foundational principle in deontological ethics. It suggests that individuals should act according to rules that could be universally applied. When faced with a moral decision, one should ask themselves, what kind of world would it be if everyone behaved this way, and would I want to live in that world? This encourages people to consider the broader implications of their actions and whether they would be acceptable if everyone acted similarly. Rawls' veil of ignorance is a thought experiment designed to determine what is fair in social and political decision-making. It asks decision-makers to imagine they know nothing about their own identities, statuses, or circumstances such as wealth, race, or gender. This perspective aims to eliminate personal biases and ensures that decisions are made in a way that is fair to all members of society, benefiting everyone rather than just the privileged. The Golden Rule states, "Treat others as you would have them treat you." This principle emphasizes empathy and reciprocity in human interactions. It assumes that both parties involved are ethical. An ethical person would not expect someone else to behave unethically towards them. By following this rule, individuals are encouraged to consider the feelings and rights of others, fostering a more compassionate and just society. Virtue ethics places emphasis on the character and integrity of the moral actor rather than solely on the moral act itself. This approach focuses on being a good person because that is the kind of person one aspires to be. It considers the individual's intentions, motivations, and efforts to develop themselves as moral agents within a relevant moral community. Motivations and intentions play a crucial role in ethical decision-making from a virtue ethics perspective, as they reflect the character and integrity of the individual. This approach considers the individual's commitment to being a virtuous person and contributing to an ethical organizational environment. The character of the actor is evaluated based on principles such as honesty, adherence to professional codes, and considerations of consequences. Ethical decision-making within a professional community often involves following established codes of conduct and standards. Various professions have developed ethical guidelines for their members, and individuals are expected to abide by these standards. However, it is essential to critically examine the source of ethical guidance, especially when conflicts of interest may arise within professional organizations. When professional communities lack clear guidance, or when faced with ethical dilemmas that challenge existing norms, individuals may turn to broader societal standards for moral guidance. The disclosure rule, a practical decision-making shortcut, involves considering how one's behavior would be perceived by the broader community. as reflected in media outlets. Seeking guidance from ethical role models and continuously developing one's ethical fitness through ethical decision-making practices are also key aspects of personal development in virtue ethics. In ethical decision-making, a comprehensive consideration of consequentialist, deontological, and virtue ethics approaches can aid in making well-rounded decisions. Each approach offers valuable insights into ethical considerations, and a thorough analysis that integrates these perspectives can help guide individuals in navigating complex ethical dilemmas effectively. Virtue ethics focuses on the character and virtues of individuals rather than just the outcomes of their actions. In management, it encourages managers to develop moral virtues to guide their decisions. The proposed Hippocratic Oath for managers advocates for ethical standards that prioritize societal well-being and organizational integrity. Managers should act as agents of society, making decisions that enhance long-term societal value instead of merely seeking immediate profits. They must obey the law and fulfill contractual obligations to build trust and accountability. Integrity is essential. Managers should act honestly to maintain trust with stakeholders. Transparency and accuracy in reporting are crucial for credibility and treating others with respect, especially marginalized individuals, is a key ethical responsibility. Decisions should be informed by knowledge and evidence, avoiding biases. Lastly, managers should accept responsibility for their actions, learn from mistakes, and strive to improve. By adopting these principles, managers can foster ethical behavior, enhance their organization's reputations, and positively impact society. 8 steps to sound ethical decision-making. Step 1. Gather the facts. Begin by collecting relevant information about the situation. Many people rush to solutions without understanding the context. It's essential to ask questions about the circumstances, including any historical or current facts that are important. However, gathering facts can be challenging, especially when information is limited. Step 2. Define the ethical issues. Identify the ethical dilemmas involved in the situation. Avoid jumping to conclusions. Instead, explore all potential issues, such as conflicting values like loyalty versus honesty. Recognizing multiple ethical concerns is crucial for a thorough analysis. Step 3. Identify the affected parties' stakeholders. Consider who will be impacted by the decision. This includes both direct stakeholders and broader groups, such as the community. Understanding different perspectives through role-taking can help clarify the ethical implications. Step 4. Identify the consequences. Evaluate the potential outcomes for each stakeholder. Focus on likely consequences and assess both short-term and long-term effects, including symbolic messages that decisions may convey. Step 5. Identify the obligations. Clarify the obligations owed to different parties and the reasoning behind them. This can involve values like trust and honesty, and recognizing professional duties. Step 6. Consider your character and integrity. Reflect on how a person of integrity would approach the situation. Consider the perspectives of your moral community and whether you would be comfortable with your decision being publicly disclosed. Step 7. Think creatively about potential actions. Avoid limiting yourself to binary choices. Explore alternative solutions that may better address the ethical issues at hand. Step 8. Check your gut. Pay attention to your instincts. Emotional responses can signal underlying ethical dilemmas, but use rational decision-making tools to guide your final choice. Ethical dilemmas are common in the workplace, and it's crucial to be prepared for them. To protect yourself and your employer, familiarize yourself with your organization's rules and develop supportive relationships. Start by reading your company's code of ethics and policy manual. While you can't memorize everything, skimming will help you know where to find information. Additionally, asking questions about ethical standards and common dilemmas can provide valuable insights, especially regarding unwritten rules. Building relationships outside your direct chain of command, such as with HR or legal departments, can also be beneficial. Networking within your profession can offer further guidance during ethical crises. When faced with a quick decision, it's important to take your time if possible. Trust your instincts and recognize when something feels wrong. You can ask for more time to think, consult policies, or seek advice from colleagues or managers. For example, if offered a discount on a printer, consider whether it might create a conflict of interest, even if it appears acceptable. Use the New York Times test. If you'd be uncomfortable with your decision being public, reconsider it. The perception of fairness is as crucial as actual fairness. Ultimately, if a decision seems questionable or could be misinterpreted, it's wise to avoid it. Listening to your gut and adhering to ethical standards will help maintain integrity in your professional decisions.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.